Benjamin Franklin, the man who shaped America, reading and published by Mr. Books. Benjamin Franklin, the man who shaped America, serves as both a tribute to and an exploration of one of the most significant figures in American history. From his modest beginnings in Boston to his pivotal role in establishing the United States, Franklin's varied contributions to society encompass the realms of science, business, politics, and diplomacy. This book seeks not only to chronicle his life and achievements, but also to unravel the complex character of a man who so profoundly influenced the birth of a nation. Born in 1706 into a working-class family, Franklin's journey was anything but straightforward. He emerged from humble beginnings, channeling a voracious appetite for knowledge and a robust entrepreneurial spirit into a life of remarkable achievement. His early experiences as an apprentice in a printing shop laid a foundation for his later endeavors and ignited his lifelong passion for writing and learning. This love for the printed word spurred him to create Poor Richard's Almanac, a publication that married wit with wisdom, securing his reputation as an astute businessman and cultural influencer. Yet Franklin's legacy extends far beyond mere commerce. He was a polymath, delving into science with the fervor of a true innovator. His groundbreaking experiments with electricity, including the famous kite experiment, not only expanded human understanding of natural phenomena, but also led to practical inventions such as the lightning rod and bifocal glasses. Franklin's scientific pursuits reflected his belief in the power of reason and inquiry, which were instrumental in shaping the Enlightenment ideologies that fueled the American Revolution. As a statesman, Franklin played an integral role in drafting the Declaration of Independence and served as a key diplomat during the Revolutionary War. His ability to navigate complex international relations, particularly with France, proved crucial in garnering support for the American cause. Franklin's negotiations led to the Treaty of Paris, which recognized the independence of the United States, solidifying his place in history as a founding father. However, Franklin's influence transcended politics and science. He was a philosopher and a social reformer, advocating for liberty, civic responsibility, and educational advancement. His writings and ideas continue to resonate today, inspiring generations to uphold the values of democracy and human progress. In tracing Franklin's multifaceted legacy, this book not only honors his achievements, but also invites readers to reflect on their relevance in contemporary society. In the chapters that follow, we will delve deeply into the life of Benjamin Franklin, examining the experiences, decisions, and ideas that forged an American icon. This exploration will reveal how Franklin's intelligence, creativity, and relentless determination helped shape a nation and laid the groundwork for a legacy that endures long beyond his time. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to support the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an audiobook that could change your life. Now, let's begin. Enjoy. Chapter 1: Early Life and Humble Beginnings. Benjamin Franklin was born on January 17, 1706, in Boston, Massachusetts, the 15th of 17 children in a family struggling to make ends meet. His father, Josiah Franklin, was a candlemaker whose modest income was barely sufficient to provide for such a large family. This environment provided young Benjamin with a clear understanding of the value of hard work and perseverance from an early age. Franklin's early years were defined by the stark contrasts of his upbringing. The cramped quarters of the Franklin household belied an early exposure to the literary world. Josiah recognized the importance of education and provided his children with the opportunity to learn. However, the family's financial strain meant that young Benjamin could only attend school for 2 years. But necessity can often be the mother of invention, and as he limitedly dabbled in formal education, more significant enlightenment came from his voracious reading of various texts instead. In his quest for knowledge, Franklin became an avid reader, consuming works from classical authors to contemporary literature. By frequenting the local library and nurturing his insatiable curiosity, he laid the groundwork for his later accomplishments. These formative years planted the seeds of intellectual pursuit, creativity, and critical thinking that would guide him throughout his life. At the age of 12, Franklin began a 6-year apprenticeship under his brother James, a printer. This experience exposed him to the world of publishing, where he would eventually find both his voice and his livelihood. The apprenticeship was not without its challenges. James was a stern instructor, often censoring Franklin's writings. However, Benjamin's dedication led him to write pieces under pseudonyms, clever enough to pass as different authors, which showcased not only his burgeoning talent, but also his desire for independence. The apprenticeship drew to a close, and by 1723, Franklin, yearning for a larger venue to express himself and expand his horizons, left Boston for Philadelphia. Philadelphia, a bustling hub of commerce and culture, welcomed Franklin with new opportunities. It was there that he began to establish himself, taking odd jobs at various printing houses and ultimately dreaming of starting his own press. As Franklin began to make his way in Philadelphia, he encountered diverse influences and inspirations that would shape his journey. The busy coffee houses of the time served as gathering spots for intellectuals, where ideas flowed as freely as the coffee. Here, Franklin mingled with thinkers and innovators, absorbing their insights about business, science, and governance. The stimulation of this new environment would fuel his ardor for invention and entrepreneurship. Despite his numerous achievements, Franklin's path was not easy. He faced financial and social obstacles, including competition from established printers and the societal norms that favored those of higher social standing. However, his resilience and determination shone through as he navigated these challenges, forging connections and ultimately beginning his own printing business. Eventually, Franklin's hard work paid off when he published Poor Richard's Almanac in 1732. This annual publication combined practical information with humorous and philosophical reflections. It quickly gained popularity and became a staple in American households. Through the almanac, Franklin was able to share his beliefs about self-improvement and resourcefulness, echoing the values he had learned throughout his early life. Reflecting on these early experiences, it becomes evident how each element of Franklin's upbringing contributed to his development into a leader and a thinker. The hardships endured leveled the field for his rise, as he learned to blend intellect with practicality. Franklin's early years serve as a critical canvas on which the colors of his remarkable life would later unfold, revealing the intricate and profound influences that shaped one of America's most significant founding fathers. Chapter 2: The Young Entrepreneur. Benjamin Franklin's arrival in Philadelphia marked the beginning of an entrepreneurial journey that would ultimately transform him into one of the most influential figures in American history. Moving to the city in 1723, Franklin was met with a landscape rich in opportunity, yet fraught with competition. Armed with a few pounds of silver and a resilient spirit, he set out to carve a niche for himself in the bustling printing industry. Initially, Franklin took on various jobs, working as a printer and a compositor. He quickly recognized the potential for success lay not just in finding employment, but in thinking creatively about the business itself. The experience he accrued allowed him to hone his skills while affording him the opportunity to connect with influential figures in the city. Franklin's charm and intellect won him allies who would later play significant roles in his career. It was during this time that Franklin established himself as a serious entrepreneur. In 1730, he launched his own printing business, operating under the name Franklin and Hall. His operations were modest at first, but Franklin's innovative ideas and relentless ambition rapidly set him apart from his competitors. His keen insight into market trends, allowed him to identify gaps in the services offered by other printers. He understood that the American populace was hungry, not just for newspapers, but also for literature, pamphlets, and educational material. Franklin's eye for opportunity led him to publish the first newspaper in Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Gazette, in 1729. With its engaging content and thoughtful commentary on the issues of the day, the publication flourished and quickly became one of America's most successful newspapers. Through the Pennsylvania Gazette, Franklin used the power of the press to influence public opinion, create community dialogue, and promote American ideals. In 1732, Franklin achieved another milestone by publishing Paul Richard's Almanac. This annual publication would become a hallmark of American literature and a vehicle for Franklin's philosophical musings. Through wise sayings, practical advice, and humor, Franklin's writing resonated with ordinary Americans. His knack for distilling complex ideas into accessible language established him as a cultural authority. The Almanac's success brought Franklin not only financial stability, but also personal acclaim. He became a beloved figure among the townspeople, and his popularity laid the groundwork for his future endeavors. As his reputation grew, so too did his ambition. He began to expand his business, diversifying his printing operations and engaging in ventures that would eventually shape the landscape of American industry. Franklin's innovative spirit led him to explore opportunities beyond the printing press. He realized the importance of creating a symbiotic relationship with his community and, in 1731, founded the Junto, a club for mutual improvement. The Junto brought together a diverse group of artisans and tradesmen who shared ideas and fostered collaboration. This initiative showcased Franklin's belief in the power of collective growth and his commitment to intellectual advancement. His foray into entrepreneurship was not without its challenges. The fierce competition from rival printers and established publishers often created a tumultuous environment for new enterprises. Nevertheless, Franklin faced adversity head-on. His work ethic, combined with a willingness to take calculated risks, allowed him to thrive in this difficult landscape. Continuing to innovate, Franklin also explored advancements in technology. He sought to improve the printing process itself, experimenting with the use of new materials and techniques to increase efficiency and quality. During this period, he recognized the importance of networking and relationships in business, establishing vital contacts within Philadelphia's growing community of intellectuals, artisans, and government officials. As Franklin's business prospered, he increasingly used his platform to advocate for social causes. He understood that entrepreneurship extended beyond personal gain. It involved a responsibility to uplift the community. He supported initiatives such as establishing libraries, fire departments, and educational institutions. Franklin's philanthropic ventures reflected his belief that the wealth generated through business should be reinvested into the betterment of society. By the mid-1730s, Franklin had solidified his position as a formidable force in Philadelphia's business landscape. His printer's shop was not merely a commercial enterprise. It became a gathering place for thought leaders and change agents. Through his almanac, newspaper, and community initiatives, he was laying the foundation for a brand of American entrepreneurship that would blend commerce with civic virtue. In essence, the story of Franklin as a young entrepreneur encapsulates the quintessential American spirit, an unwavering pursuit of opportunity coupled with a deep commitment to societal improvement. His entrepreneurial journey, marked by creative vision, industriousness, and social responsibility, laid the groundwork for his future successes while also impacting the broader American narrative of independence and progress. Chapter 3. The Scientist and Inventor. Benjamin Franklin's insatiable curiosity was a defining trait that propelled him into the realms of science and innovation. While his earlier endeavors as a publisher and entrepreneur established his reputation as a significant figure in American society. It was his scientific pursuits that would further entrench his legacy as a man of ideas and creativity. Franklin's commitment to understanding the natural world led him to explore electricity, a phenomenon that intrigued many scientists of his era. Franklin's fascination with electricity began in the early 1740s, inspired by the work of contemporaries such as Sir Isaac Newton and other European scientists. This interest was not merely academic. Franklin's investigations were deeply practical. Unlike many of his peers, who were often confined to laboratories, Franklin approached science with the perspective of a tinkerer and innovator. He conducted experiments not just to understand electricity, but to harness its potential for practical applications. One of Franklin's most famous experiments involved flying a kite during a thunderstorm, a feat that showcased both his daring spirit and ingenious methodology. In 1752, he conducted this experiment to demonstrate the electrical nature of lightning, successfully proving that lightning was indeed a form of electricity. By attaching a metal key to a string held by the kite, he was able to draw electric charge from the clouds, showcasing the dangers and wonders of nature. Franklin's experimentation with electricity led to significant discoveries and innovations. One of his most notable inventions was the lightning rod, a device designed to protect buildings and structures from the destructive power of lightning strikes. This invention not only saved countless lives and properties, but also demonstrated Franklin's practical application of scientific principles in a way that benefited society. In addition to the lightning rod, Franklin also invented bifocal glasses, addressing the common problem of vision impairment in older adults. This innovation increased his reputation as an inventor and further showcased his commitment to improving the quality of life for others through practical design. Franklin's contributions extended well beyond these two inventions. He was also instrumental in developing the concept of the conservation of charge, laying the groundwork for later electrical theory. His work in this area provided a framework for understanding how electrical charges interact, influencing future scientists and leading to further advancements in technology. As Franklin pursued scientific inquiry, he continuously emphasized the importance of experimentation, observation, and inquiry, a hallmark of the scientific method. His methodical approach underscored the connection between science and philosophy, reflecting the Enlightenment spirit of critical thinking and rationality. Franklin believed that through experimentation, humanity could unlock the mysteries of nature, ultimately leading to societal progress. Franklin's scientific pursuits were not solely about personal discovery. They were intertwined with his vision of an educated populace. He believed that scientific knowledge should be accessible to the average person for the betterment of society as a whole. His writings, including his numerous letters and essays on electricity, aimed to disseminate his findings to the public and inspire others to engage in scientific exploration. His renowned work, Experiments and Observations on Electricity, published in 1751, became an essential reference for both contemporaries and future scientists. In it, he detailed his experiments, findings, and reflections on the nature of electricity. This publication positioned him as a leading figure in the scientific community, earning him respect not only in America, but internationally. Moreover, Franklin's contributions extended into various fields. He also made advancements in meteorology, studying weather patterns and their correlations with atmospheric phenomena. He was among the first to propose theories about prevailing winds and ocean currents, showcasing his range as a scientist. Through his scientific endeavors, Franklin helped lay the intellectual groundwork for the Industrial Revolution and technological advancements that would follow. His belief in the interconnectedness of knowledge and its potential to create a better world motivated him to engage deeply in scientific exploration. Overall, Benjamin Franklin's legacy as a scientist and inventor is grounded in his innovative approach to discovering the world around him. His tireless spirit of inquiry and commitment to practical application forever integrated scientific thinking into the American ethos, encouraging future generations to pursue knowledge with the same fervor and passion. The man who played an essential role in shaping America through politics and commerce was equally committed to reshaping the way humanity understood and interacted with the natural world. Chapter 4: The Statesman and Diplomat. Benjamin Franklin's evolution from a young entrepreneur and scientist to a distinguished statesman and diplomat reflects his profound understanding of the interconnected nature of society and governance. As the American colonies faced mounting tensions with Britain, Franklin emerged as a pivotal figure in advocating for liberty, political reform, and united action. His diplomatic efforts during this turbulent period not only showcased his skills, but also his deep commitment to the principles of democracy and independence. In the years leading up to the American Revolution, Franklin used his stature as a respected community leader and intellectual to advocate for colonial interests. He recognized that the colonies would need to unite to confront the issues of taxation, without representation and encroachment on their rights. His involvement in the Albany Congress of 1754 demonstrated his foresight regarding the necessity of colonial unity. There, he proposed the Albany Plan of Union, envisioning a cooperative government among the colonies that would facilitate mutual defense and address common interests. While the Albany Plan was ultimately rejected, it laid the groundwork for future collaboration among the colonies and highlighted Franklin's ability to envision a collective identity. This pattern of thinking would become increasingly significant as tensions escalated between Britain and the colonies. As the Revolution approached, Franklin's diplomatic skills became crucial. In 1775, he was appointed to the Second Continental Congress, where he played a vital role in articulating the colony's grievances against British rule. Alongside fellow delegates, he helped draft the Declaration of Independence in 1776, a seminal document that articulated the colony's desire for self-governance and individual rights. Franklin's contributions to the Declaration, particularly his advocacy for liberty and justice, ensured that the ideals of the Enlightenment were woven into the fabric of American political identity. Recognizing the importance of international support in the fight for independence, Franklin was appointed as the American Commissioner to France in 1776. His mission was multifaceted: to garner French support for the American cause and to secure military and financial assistance. Franklin's charm, intellect, and diplomatic prowess enabled him to connect with influential figures in French society, including King Louis XVI and foreign ministers. His presence in France sparked considerable interest. Franklin was not just a diplomat, but also a symbol of American ingenuity and determination. The image of the humble printer, transformed into a dignified statesman, resonated deeply with the French people who admired the American quest for liberty. His ability to present the American struggle as a shared commitment to Enlightenment values facilitated a burgeoning alliance. Franklin successfully negotiated treaties that resulted in France formally recognizing American independence and providing critical military support, particularly during the Siege of Yorktown. The Franco-American alliance proved instrumental in the outcome of the Revolutionary War, turning the tide toward victory. This achievement solidified Franklin's position as a leading figure in American diplomacy and showcased his capacity to navigate complex political landscapes. As the war drew to a close, Franklin played a key role in negotiating the Treaty of Paris in 1783, which formally ended the conflict and recognized American independence. His diplomatic acumen was evident in his ability to secure favorable terms that not only guaranteed independence, but also expanded territorial claims for the new nation. The treaty represented a monumental achievement and reinforced Franklin's legacy as a statesman committed to the principles of democracy and self-determination. However, Franklin's vision for America extended beyond mere independence. He understood that the nation's future rested on a robust framework of governance that upheld the ideals of liberty and justice. He became an influential member of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, working to ensure that the U.S. Constitution reflected the values of a democratic society. His support for a balanced government that incorporated checks and balances underscored his commitment to preventing tyranny and promoting civic engagement. Despite his many achievements, Franklin remained grounded in his principles. He championed civic responsibility, education, and civic virtue as essential components of a healthy democracy. His belief that government should serve the people and that citizens must actively participate in governance served as guiding tenets throughout his public life. Franklin continued to promote the importance of compromise and collaboration in politics, encouraging leaders to seek common ground rather than succumbing to division. His perspective reflected his comprehensive understanding of the complexities of governance, honed through years of first-hand experience in both domestic and international diplomacy. As Franklin navigated his final years, he remained a staunch advocate for the principles he had fought for throughout his life. His health began to decline, but he continued to engage in public discourse, urging others to uphold the ideals of the Revolution. Franklin's vision of a united and democratic America remained unwavering until his passing in 1790. In summary, Benjamin Franklin's journey as a statesman and diplomat exemplifies his dedication to the principles of democracy, liberty, and the pursuit of knowledge. His ability to navigate complex political landscapes, coupled with his vision for collective action, left an indelible mark on American history. Franklin not only helped secure independence for a fledgling nation, but also laid the foundations for a government that would strive to embody the ideals he championed, a legacy that continues to resonate in contemporary discourse on democracy and civic engagement. Chapter 5. Founding the Nation. Benjamin Franklin's role in the founding of the United States was not just as a statesman and diplomat. He was a foundational thinker whose ideas shaped the very essence of the nation. His participation in key events and his advocacy for democratic principles were critical in establishing a robust framework for governance in post-revolutionary America. Franklin's influence extended far beyond the Revolutionary War. He was an architect of the nation's political philosophy, imbuing it with Enlightenment ideals that would endure for generations. As the Revolutionary War drew to a close, Franklin realized that the newly formed United States faced immense challenges. The Articles of Confederation, the nation's first governing document, had proven inadequate in addressing the needs of a growing and diverse populace. Issues of interstate commerce, taxation, and political representation demanded a more structured approach to governance. Recognizing the urgency of addressing these shortcomings, Franklin was appointed as a delegate to the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787. This gathering brought together some of the brightest minds in the nation, each tasked with the monumental responsibility of crafting a new constitution. Franklin, whose well of experience encompassed diplomacy, business, and civic leadership, emerged as a leading voice advocating for a balanced government that represented the interests of all citizens. One of Franklin's fundamental contributions to the convention was his call for compromise. He understood that the differences among delegates could lead to gridlock and ultimately jeopardize the formation of a coherent government. With remarkable wisdom and diplomacy, he encouraged negotiation between delegates with opposing views, advocating for a constitution that would incorporate a system of checks and balances, a principle that remains a cornerstone of American governance today. Franklin championed the idea of a bicameral legislature, which would balance representation between populous states and smaller states. His willingness to promote compromise led to the Connecticut Compromise, which established the current structure of Congress, consisting of the House of Representatives and the Senate. This framework ensured that both populous and less populous states had a voice in the new government, addressing concerns about representation and fairness. Another critical aspect of Franklin's vision centered on individual rights and liberties. He was deeply influenced by the Enlightenment principles that emphasized the importance of personal freedoms and the protection of individual rights from potential governmental overreach. He advocated for the inclusion of a Bill of Rights in the Constitution, an essential safeguard to ensure that the rights of citizens would be upheld in the new government. Though the Bill of Rights was not part of the original Constitution, Franklin's push for its inclusion set the stage for subsequent amendments that would enshrine fundamental liberties. Beyond his contributions to the structure of government, Franklin's philosophical insights played a crucial role in shaping the nation's identity. He believed in the power of civic engagement and education as foundational principles for a healthy democracy. He encouraged citizens, particularly those in leadership positions, to prioritize the common good over personal ambition, a notion that resonates deeply in contemporary political discourse. Franklin's commitment to education was evident not only through his advocacy for a well-informed citizenry, but also in his establishment of institutions dedicated to learning. His founding of the University of Pennsylvania epitomized his belief in the importance of education as a means of societal improvement, a principle he believed was essential to the success of the newly established nation. As the Constitutional Convention concluded, Franklin's influence on the final document was palpable. The Constitution, ratified by the states in 1788, established a dynamic framework that balanced central authority with state sovereignty, embodying the ideals Benjamin Franklin had championed throughout his life. It was an enduring testament to the democratic ideals he had fought for: liberty, justice, and equal representation. In his later years, Franklin continued to embody this spirit of progress, advocating for social reforms, including the abolition of slavery. He recognized that the nation's success depended not only on a strong government, but also on addressing the moral implications of inequity and injustice. His late-life conversion to the anti-slavery movement demonstrated his commitment to the evolving ideals of liberty and equality. Franklin's death in 1790 marked the loss of a visionary leader, but his legacy as a founding father endures. His contributions to the establishment of the United States helped pave the way for a government structured on the principles of democracy and civic virtue. Benjamin Franklin's ability to negotiate, compromise, and envision a better future for all citizens left an indelible mark on American history. In summary, Franklin's role as a founding father highlights his significance in the creation of a nation based on Enlightenment ideals. His relentless pursuit of truth, justice, and liberty shaped both the structure and spirit of the United States. As the nation continues to navigate the complexities of governance and representation, Franklin's vision serves as a guiding light, encouraging citizens to honor their responsibilities and strive for the common good. Chapter 6: Franklin's Philosophical Impact. Benjamin Franklin's impact on American philosophy is profound and multifaceted, encapsulating the Enlightenment ideals of reason, individualism, and social reform. His writings and actions contributed significantly to the intellectual landscape of the time, making him not only a statesman and inventor, but also a philosopher deeply concerned with the moral and ethical dimensions of society. This chapter will explore Franklin's philosophical contributions, examining how his beliefs on education, civic virtue, and human nature shaped American identity. Franklin's philosophical perspective was deeply rooted in the Enlightenment, a period characterized by a shift toward reason and empiricism. He believed that knowledge was instrumental in enabling individuals to improve themselves and their societies. Throughout his life, Franklin championed education as a primary vehicle for social progress. He understood that an educated populace was essential for a thriving democracy, advocating for public education and the establishment of libraries and institutions that promoted learning. His personal quest for knowledge manifested in his founding of the Library Company of Philadelphia in 1731, one of the first subscription libraries in America. This institution made literature and information more accessible, reflecting Franklin's belief in the democratizing power of knowledge. He wrote extensively on the importance of reading and self-improvement, emphasizing that personal development could lead to societal advancements. Franklin's writings also demonstrated a keen understanding of human nature. He viewed people as inherently rational beings, capable of governing themselves, provided they possess the education and moral framework necessary to do so. This belief in the potential for self-improvement was evident in his famous 13 virtues, a list he created as a guide for personal development. These virtues encompass traits such as temperance, silence, order, and humility, each embodying Franklin's vision of an individual dedicated to personal and societal betterment. His approach to civic virtue was equally notable. Franklin believed that responsible citizenship involved not only participation in government, but also active engagement in community affairs and social improvement. He encouraged individuals to take an active role in shaping their communities, advocating for volunteerism, charitable work, and civic engagement. His founding of the Junto, a club for mutual improvement, exemplified this ethos, as it provided a platform for dialogue and collaboration among citizens. In his writings, Franklin employed wit and humor to convey deep philosophical insights. His essays often blended practical advice with moral reflections, making complex ideas accessible to the general populace. His use of aphorisms, such as "a penny saved is a penny earned," served as timeless wisdom that resonated with everyday experiences and aspirations. These sayings not only reflected his practical philosophy, but also encouraged self-discipline and financial prudence. Franklin's belief in the interconnectedness of humanity was also pivotal in shaping his philosophical outlook. He understood that individual actions have collective consequences, and that a prosperous society relies on the well-being of all its members. This understanding fueled his advocacy for social reforms throughout his life, including initiatives aimed at improving public health, education, and labor conditions. One of Franklin's significant contributions to American philosophy was his concept of pragmatic ethics, the idea that moral principles should be grounded in practical outcomes rather than abstract ideals. He believed that ethical behavior should be judged by its consequences on society rather than rigid adherence to predetermined doctrines. This pragmatic approach encouraged a flexible, adaptive moral framework that resonated with the dynamic nature of American society. Franklin's philosophical impact reached beyond the borders of the United States. His ideas influenced political thinkers and leaders across the Atlantic, inspiring movements for reform and liberty in Europe and beyond. His correspondence with prominent Enlightenment figures, such as Voltaire and Rousseau, further solidified his role as a bridge between American and European thought. Throughout his life, Franklin demonstrated a commitment to the idea that philosophy should not be confined to academic discourse, but should resonate in the everyday lives of individuals. He sought to integrate philosophy into practical living, emphasizing that wisdom gained through experience and community connection could lead to a more harmonious and thriving society. In summary, Benjamin Franklin's philosophical impact on America is characterized by his commitment to education, civic virtue, pragmatism, and the belief in the potential for individual and societal progress. His writings and actions helped shape a national identity rooted in Enlightenment ideals, fostering a spirit of inquiry, self-improvement, and community engagement that continues to resonate in contemporary American thought. Franklin's legacy as a philosopher invites us to reflect on our responsibilities as citizens and the enduring quest for knowledge and justice. Chapter 7: Legacy and Memory. The legacy of Benjamin Franklin transcends time and geography, shaping the contours of American identity while influencing global discourse on democracy, innovation, and civic responsibility. As one of the most versatile figures in American history, Franklin's contributions spanned numerous fields, including politics, science, literature, and social reform. This chapter examines the multifaceted legacy of Franklin, tracing how his ideals have continued to resonate across generations in both public consciousness and academic study. Franklin's role as a founding father is perhaps the most recognizable aspect of his legacy. His key contributions to the drafting of the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution established him as an architect of American governance. The principles he championed, liberty, equality, and the importance of civic engagement, remain cornerstones of the American democratic ideal. Franklin's vision of a balanced government, one that protects individual rights while ensuring public welfare, continues to inform debates on policy and governance in contemporary America. In addition to his political contributions, Franklin's legacy as a scientist and inventor has left an indelible mark on modern technological and scientific development. His curious spirit and innovative thinking led to groundbreaking discoveries in electricity and advancements such as the lightning rod and bifocal glasses. These inventions exemplify his belief in the power of applied knowledge to enhance everyday life. Franklin's scientific approach, characterized by a blend of rigorous experimentation and practical application, laid foundational principles for the emergence of the scientific method in American education. Moreover, Franklin's commitment to self-improvement and civic virtue has resonated deeply in the American character. His belief that citizens must actively engage in their communities and uphold moral standards remains relevant. Franklin's model of civic engagement through volunteerism, education, and public service encourages individuals to contribute positively to society. His founding of civic institutions, such as the First Public Library and the University of Pennsylvania, reflects his understanding of the transformative power of education, which remains influential in driving social progress to this day. Franklin also established a legacy of philanthropy and social awareness that has inspired future generations. His focus on the betterment of society through charitable initiatives, such as advocating for public health, education, and social reform, illustrates his dedication to creating a just community. This philanthropic spirit continues to motivate contemporary Americans who engage in altruistic efforts, embodying the principle that societal progress depends on collective action. The ways in which Franklin's contributions are remembered vary widely, reflecting both regional interpretations and evolving societal values. His image has become iconic, often depicted in portraits, monuments, and historical literature as a quintessential symbol of American innovation and resilience. Schools, libraries, and civic institutions across the nation bear his name, serving as reminders of his impact and a call to uphold the values for which he stood. Importantly, Franklin's legacy is not without critique. As America grapples with its complex history, reflections on Franklin's views and actions related to issues such as slavery reveal inconsistencies. While he later became an advocate for abolition, many of his contemporaries and friends held different views, and Franklin himself was involved in the slave trade early in his career. These contradictions prompt deeper examination of moral growth and the ongoing struggle for equality in American society. Scholars and historians continue to study Franklin's life and contributions, producing a wealth of literature that explores his significance in shaping various American ideologies, particularly those relating to democratic governance and ethical conduct. Academic discourse surrounding Franklin has expanded to include diverse interpretations, incorporating viewpoints from social, cultural, and gender studies. This ongoing exploration ensures that Franklin's legacy is both celebrated and scrutinized, admitting complexities that reflect the moral evolution of American society. Ultimately, Franklin's legacy is characterized not just by his personal achievements, but also by the enduring impact of his ideas. His vision of a free and equitable society has inspired countless movements for change, both within the United States and internationally. As we navigate contemporary challenges, Franklin's belief in the power of reason, education, and collective action serves as a guiding light, a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge and social progress is a continuing journey. In conclusion, Benjamin Franklin's legacy is multifaceted, encompassing political, scientific, and philosophical dimensions. His contributions to the founding of America, along with his commitment to civic engagement and self-improvement, have left an indelible mark on the nation's identity. As society continues to evolve, Franklin's ideals remain ever present, inviting reflection on the principles of democracy, innovation, and moral responsibility that define the American experience. Chapter 8: Franklin in Popular Culture. The enduring influence of Benjamin Franklin extends beyond historical records and scholarly discourse. He occupies a significant place in popular culture, serving as an emblematic figure embodying American ingenuity, wit, and spirit. His life and contributions resonate in literature, film, educational materials, and contemporary discussions about governance and civic responsibility. This chapter explores how Franklin's image and ideas have permeated popular culture, shaping public perceptions and inspiring generations. Franklin's persona has been romanticized and mythologized over time, often portrayed as the quintessential American dream figure, a self-made man who rose from humble beginnings to achieve greatness. His reputation as a clever inventor, clever statesman, and wise philosopher lends itself to various portrayals, often emphasizing his quick wit and penchant for practical solutions. This archetype reflects core American values, including innovation, perseverance, and the belief in the power of ideas. In literature, Franklin's works, particularly his autobiography, have had a lasting impact. The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin is considered a seminal text in American literature, offering insight into his principles and life philosophy. Through this narrative, Franklin shares not only his personal journey, but also broader reflections on the ideals of self-reliance, hard work, and moral integrity. His candid writing style and relatable anecdotes resonate with readers, making his story accessible and inspirational. Franklin's influence is also felt in educational settings, where he is often invoked as a model of civic virtue and intellectual curiosity. His founding of educational institutions, including the University of Pennsylvania, underscores his commitment to learning and self-improvement. Many schools across the country incorporate Franklin's principles into their curricula, emphasizing the importance of ethics, science, and civic engagement. His image graces classrooms, textbooks, and educational materials, reinforcing the idea that knowledge is both a privilege and a responsibility. In the realm of popular media, Franklin's character has been depicted in various films, television shows, and stage productions. He is often portrayed with a mix of humor and gravitas, reflecting both his contributions and idiosyncrasies. In animated series, Franklin frequently appears as a wise mentor, offering lessons on teamwork and values to younger characters. These portrayals serve to engage new audiences, making his legacy relevant for contemporary viewers, while emphasizing moral lessons drawn from his life experiences. Franklin's presence in popular culture is further reflected in celebrations and commemorations. from national holidays such as Independence Day to events that honor his legacy, such as Franklin's birthday celebrations. His likeness appears on the U.S. $100 bill, solidifying his status as a national icon, and symbols related to his work, like the lightning rod, are often referenced in discussions about innovation and American ingenuity. Moreover, Franklin's ideas about civic engagement and responsibility remain relevant in discussions about contemporary rights and duties as citizens. His belief in the importance of community involvement and personal accountability aligns with modern movements advocating for social change. In this way, Franklin's endorsement of civic virtue transcends time, inspiring individuals to contribute positively and engage actively in society. The complexities of Franklin's character are increasingly explored in popular culture, acknowledging both his achievements and his shortcomings. As societal values continue to evolve, discussions surrounding Franklin's views on race and slavery have prompted critical examination within cultural narratives. This inclusive approach to discussing Franklin not only enriches our understanding of his character, but also fosters dialogue about the historical context of his actions and the ongoing work towards social justice. In summary, Benjamin Franklin's impact on popular culture illustrates his lasting relevance and the ways in which his ideas continue to resonate in contemporary society. He is celebrated not only as a founding father and statesman, but also as a cultural icon whose principles of innovation, education, and civic responsibility inspire generations. Franklin's image and legacy, woven into the fabric of American culture, serve as a reminder of the enduring power of ideas and the possibility of individual and collective progress. If you found this video helpful, inspiring, or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on future content. Your support means the world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.